gonna go over alternate ways to lower and raise using the aperture belay device. And I figured I would take this opportunity to actually tie anchors with webbing just as a lead in. So we're gonna do a 2-point load sharing anchor with our webbing. And this is kind of similar to videos I've already done where I did it with cordage. Again, webbing's better if, or it's an option if your anchor points are relatively close together. But if they're further apart, you want cordage because cordage comes in longer lengths generally, in general. So I just want to make sure that nothing is twisted when I bring these together. I want to kind of be OCD with it and kind of dress everything so that it's nice and neat. My resultant's dead ahead. I'm going to tie this big overhand knot for all these strands of webbing. However, I'm going to stagger some of these out. So I have a little bit of tail here, so I'm going to take one of these and bring it out a little bit more than the other. And it's going to give me some rigging options later on down when I actually show it to you. So here, I'm just going to do my overhand knot. And if I can keep everything dressed as I tie it, that's a big bonus. So load sharing, not load distributing. 2-point anchor. Okay. So everything is dressed. I'm going to pull all my strands, every single one. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands going out the back end and out the front end. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I know I've tied this correctly. So that's a 2-point load sharing anchor, and now I'm going to hook in my system. I'm going to start with more of a basic kind of rundown of this. I'm going to extend my device out. And the reason I extend this out is to make room for, because the aperture belay devices, the ATCs, whatever, they are not auto-locking, so you need to kind of put some sort of grab in there. And so when I extend this out and have my device, and let's say this is my loaded line, so you can see this. Load strand here, break strand here, and the break strand I'm gonna feed all the way back through a directional. And the directional can be here, it can be up even further back. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. Instead. And then now I can clip my directional in. And now I can clip a rope grab. In this case, I'm gonna do a VT prusik right in here. So that's a 2-wrap prusik right there. I'm gonna go one more wrap where it's gonna bite. So this is a 3-on-2 asymmetric prusik. And now I wanna just dress them on the ends and make sure everything is, both the tails are the same length. Gives me the bite of a 3-wrap prusik, but it's a little bit easier to release. And so I can just clip this in anywhere. I can piggyback and clip it in right here. Okay, so now, when I control the lower, bring it out, I'm gonna control the lower, and I have to mind the prusik as I lower. And so, like, really yard on this.
Just one sec.
Yep. Okay, now just start pulling. And so now I can control that lower as it gets lowered out. And then on the raise, we would have to de-rig this, put in like a, if we wanted to change over, we'd have to put in another prusik here. And so this kind of configuration has a lot more steps. It's not very friendly when you want to do quick changeovers. So let's rig it completely different and rig it for the ability to do changeovers very quickly. Okay, so you can unweight that. I'm going to do some slight modifications to this. So you can zoom in close for this too. So I'm going to de-rig my extension sling completely out. We'll get rid of our 3-on-2. Get rid of that extension sling. Okay. And so now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to re-rig this the same for like a lower, and then show you how I can convert it very easily on the fly. So we have our 3-on-2 that I'm going to take out. check where my loaded line is, right there. This is my brake strand, I bring that back up. Get that straight. Okay, that's in. I do want that shape, it's the bend. What adds friction is more angles, cumulative bends. That's where you get your braking power from. And so here, again, I can just go to our strands on our anchor on the shelf. We call this a shelf. And ensure that I maintain that change of direction through and through during a lower. And now I'm going to put my rope grab, or my capture. Again, here, this time instead of a 3-on-2, I'm going to do a max over 1 or 6/1 VT. So I can start with a standard girth hitch, and then I know I'm going to choke up on the end closest to the anchor, so that's my 1. And now I'm just going to start my max. So 1-on-1, that's 2/1. That's 3/1. This is 4/1. 5. And let's get that 6th one in there. 6/1, and then we can kind of try to figure out our tails, make sure that they're straight and the same. So I'll bring that over. It doesn't matter how I do this. It's not a big deal. It's not important. Or I should say which way I go isn't super important. So now I have the same thing. It's a lowering system, but where I put my rope grab prusik, this will capture the full weight of the load, whereas extending my device out and having space to put this prusik in here, while it doesn't hold as the full load, it holds the residual. So if the progress capture of the prusik is here, it holds the friction that's left after it's been absorbed by the device. So there's a lot less. However, it's a lot more difficult to change systems on the fly, and so what I'm going to do is just show you how easy this is. So right now we're configured for a lowering system, and it's pretty easy to do. I just have to make sure that I control the speed with my brake hand on the right here and tend the prusik as it goes down. And what's great about doing it this way is if I need to convert to a haul, I just lock my max over 1 VT prusik out, and then I unclip and get that redirect, that change of direction out. And I just so happen to have a carabiner that has an integrated pulley into it, and so I'm rotating the roll clip over, and now you can see that the rope is in the pulley, and this aperture belay device is going to act as a prusik minding. So this whole thing acts as a prusik minding pulley when I haul. So now I can have my system out here, and so film it like this. So from my perspective, I can rig mechanical advantage from here onto a rope grab way out front, like a 3-to-1 or a 5-to-1, whatever, and then this is my haul. And as I haul, the aperture belay device will mind the prusik, and I have a high efficiency pulley. So I instantaneously converted this into a haul system with practically no additional rigging steps involved. Also, I can treat this as a belay on a lower or a raise instantaneously by just making very slight modifications. So if I wanted to switch modes and say, okay, tell you what, somebody else is going to be doing the hauling or the lowering, and now I'm just going to be doing strictly belaying, what I can just do is just remove these components all together. I can just clip them back to where they are, just let that sit. And now what I have is pan down so you're facing me, is I have my single main, single belay VT max over 1 on a lower belaying, or VT max over 1 belaying on a raise instantaneously. So I can do raises, lowers for a working line, and I can do belay line for raises or lowers on the fly, whether that's single main, single belay, or 2-tension rope system. So bare bones, lightweight, minimalistic kind of thing for maybe your interface going into the mountains or going to like a backcountry environment or any place where you have to hike a lot, you can do a lot with just a little bit of gear, even though it's not specifically designed for rescue or for rescue loads. It's not NFPA rated for anything at all, but it does work. So.